I know, like usually all the small ones, the 50s to 100s.
So I'm still waiting on that.
Oh, there is 7,473.
Yeah, that's what she told me it's coming with FedEx, but I guess.
I offered to drive over, yeah.
But that was last, she told me last week is with FedEx, that's why I wasn't there when I picked it up.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, I'm not sure.
that's your own paragraph. You should drive everywhere. Yeah, because we're gonna do FedEx. I'm going
Oh, Lord.
yeah, and we're on the recording too, right?
crushing it. And oh my gosh, that music. Okay. Good morning, everybody. How is everybody doing today? Happy Aloha Wednesday. Woo woo. Yeah, we're back. Happy New Year. Who had something exciting and fun happen over the New Year break? I mean, I don't know. You guys are probably working. Actually, there were a lot of, Keone was like, all right, this has been a day where I've signed so many contracts. I think it was, I don't know if it was on New Year's Day. We were just talking and was super busy over the holidays. So who, did anyone learn Latasha's dance? You know that I had Ray that she played that the reindeer one or whatever. That was literally in my head for a week and a half, 10 days, that song. I could not get that reindeer dance. So let's not revisit that. All right, tell me what happened over New Year's. I'm looking at the chat box. Okay, just the Latasha's dance. Who's got a fun story to share? Who put something in escrow over the last week or got a new listing? A lot of you, I don't see your faces. Are we sleepy today? Yes. Okay. So I am also curious who did the vision map exercise over this last week. I did it. Did anybody do that? Do their vision map, work on that? Oh, you guys. Okay. It was such a great experience. So I'm just going to show you my chicken scratch, which is now becoming a nicer looking thing in Canva. It's not done yet. And I just want to reiterate the importance of this. Okay, Carol, I'm glad you started it. So I'll just kind of show you let's see if you can see my chicken scratch. Let's see if this works with the, okay, hang on. We'll figure it out. I'm just going to put this on normally I can show people. Oh, wait. Okay, this is not working. Do I need to like pick the background?
It's because of your virtual background.
I know. Hold on. I'm just going to get behind it. There we go. No, it's not happening. Okay, well, what it is. Wait, if I'm back here. No. All right, it's chicken scratch. It has a big box in the middle. Wait. Can you see part of it? No, Nancy's saying no. All right, so it has a big box in the middle, which is basically LITE, light. That's my acronym because it's my initials, and then enterprises. And I have all of these little things branching out to other boxes that have all these different businesses and things that I'm working on. So what I wanted to share about this process that was so valuable, which is why I really want to encourage you to do it. What came out of it is it wasn't just, so for example, I'll just give you an example. So I have my enterprises in the middle and it branches out and I've got, Keller Williams on the Big Island. We've got Maui. We've got investments. I've got my profit share box. I've got my sales business from, referrals, past clients. I've got the coaching. We've got a couple other things happening that I'm working on right now. And what I did was, so I put it all on paper to see what do I have going on. And then I prioritized. This was very valuable. So what it allows you to do is you get clarity around what you've got going on in your world. And then you prioritize that. So what I started doing is saying, okay, well, my number one focus is this. And then 2, 3, 4. So I started looking at what's most important. And what do you think came out of that is once you start to prioritize what you're looking at, what is the discovery that would naturally occur by doing that? So I have 13 things, by the way, 13 boxes. So if you have 13, yeah, go ahead, Karen.
You'd find two things. One thing is you would do what you're supposed to do and find your one thing and start focusing on that. But then it also gets you motivated so that you can get that one thing done. So maybe then you can move on to the next one.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Karen and Andy. Yeah, so it gets clarity around what is the thing that we're doing and where are the priorities and where do I want to put my time, energy, and attention. So then I started thinking about that. And then the next step was, what is the time, what does that look like? So then I said, okay, well, I've got these things going on in my world, and you might have 3 or 5 or whatever you've got. Then I started allocating times to it. So I said, okay, in 2022, how much time am I going to allocate to each of these boxes a week? So this starts to put your schedule together and how many hours a week you're going to be working. So I said, okay, this box, I'm going to dedicate 15 hours a week. This box, I'm dedicating 5 hours a week. This box, I'm dedicating 1 hour a week to. And so what that did is it told me this is how many hours I'm going to be working. Now, if you have a goal around how many hours a week you want to be working, there you go. This is a great way to do it. So it actually totaled when I put all my boxes together and what I wanted to allocate time to, and I have 13 boxes. What do you think it equated to in hours per week? Just curious. Anybody want to guess?
35.
Nancy
More.
says 80, 65.
Yeah, more than there are.
Okay, so actually I was able to get it where I'm spending 51 hours a week on all of these things. Now, do I want to be working 51 hours a week always? Probably not. Although what I saw was a path to get that reduced over the next, so 2022, I'm doing that because remember, part of what I'm trading is time for the ability to build income streams that will be passive. So the other thing, so what I did was, and sure, I mean, we've all worked, like for many years, I worked 80 hours a week, and then it was chunking it down, to 60 hours a week. A 60-hour work week is not uncommon probably for a lot of us because we like what we do, and we just, a lot of us like to work. Although that is manageable for me for sure. And now I have a guide to follow, and now I can go and time block my calendar, which by the way, I already did. So I time block my calendar around these hours and what I'm spending the time on. And then this was the fun part, you guys, and this is super fun, is you categorize those boxes as active or passive income. So this got really fun when you start to look at, out of these 13 boxes, how many of them are currently active. Now, a lot of them are active. That's where we talk about the hours a week, and then they go into passive. So in 2022, I've got 1, 2, 3 of these boxes, or 4 of these boxes in 2022 that are active. And then in 2023, they'll be entirely passive income. Or I might go from spending 5 hours a week to 1 hour a week, or 15 hours a week to 10 hours a week, right? So by the end of this 3-year plan, now we're down to a 40-hour or less work week. We're down to, half of these being passive income. So this is the journey that you guys can map out. I mean, that's the purpose of it, as a vision map. So I just put a little P in a box that was passive, and I put an A in a box that was active, and some of them are A and P right now. And then I totaled up the amount of income from each box. Like, cool, right? Like, this is fun. It's kind of like when you guys get a deal in escrow and you're like, what am I going to make? Or you've already figured that out. If this thing closes, hopefully it will. So then I just have a line that allocated, that told me how much income is coming from all these things and how much of that is active and passive. So who did not do this exercise that is now more motivated to actually do this exercise? Great. Okay, I love it. All right, so I didn't want to forget about that. Let's talk about, I wanted to share with you. So Ray has been amazing and created this super cool visual training calendar for you guys for 2022. And we do have a lot of guests, guest speakers, guest instructors coming, both physically and virtually, to train for you guys this year. And one of the things that we added that's going to be happening February, Ray, you might have to tell me, I think it's February 3rd, is we just booked Jean Rivers to do a listing clinic. And because obviously we always want to focus on listings, and this is such an incredible training, and Jean Rivers is the bomb. Do people still say that? I don't know. I've been watching 80s stuff, so I'm not really sure. People still say that. Anyway, so Jean Rivers, that is Oh, waiting on confirmation. Yeah, I think, Ray, I got an email and I want to say it's February 3rd. So just mark that in your calendar, and you do not want to miss that class. That is going to be, I mean, what's more important than taking listings right now? And then the other thing I wanted to ask you guys today is in the chat box to let me know. I mean, we have pretty much the calendar set as far as, well, we have the schedule overview set and we have a lot of the guest speakers set. The other thing that we're going to do is have some of you guys do some trainings for the rest of you. So like we've asked, I know like Dean's going to do training, Todd's going to do a training, Randy, which he does the 411 usually. So we've got a group of agents that are top agents in our office that are going to do trainings for you. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, they have specific areas that, you know, they're good at, that they're probably going to focus on and teach you. Dean being, you know, luxury. You know, Todd's got a lot of great stuff in terms of his team building and getting business, and you know, obviously very high level of production in terms of units and volume. So my questions to you is, what is it that you want? If you could pick, wave a magic wand and pick a topic that you really want to have this year, or you know, and we split them up into kind of quarters. Please put that in the chat box. What is something that you absolutely are thinking, man, if we could have just have a training in this, or I'd love so-and-so to talk about this. Wish list. Thanks, Ray. Ray is bringing up a wish list. Great. So put that in the chat box now and give me some suggestions of things, topics that you would like to see this year. And what we can do is I can partner up some of the people that are already doing the trainings. I may already have that in the agenda for the year. So just let me know, what is it that you guys want to know about? And put in the chat box. And Teresa loves Gene Rivers. Yes, he is so cool. He actually reminds me of my dad, which I told him, and I don't know, he didn't seem to really be excited about that. All right, let's talk topics. What you got? So I see, so for example, we've got, you know, we are going to do a workshop with the Delaware Statutory Trust guys, who we had on as a guest at the team meeting, because that was something everybody wanted to know more about. So it doesn't have to just be real estate related. It can be wealth building related. It can be, you know, personal development related. Mindset, helping buyers with fatigue and managing expectations. Great. Okay. So that's something we're seeing a lot right now. I love managing expectations. Short sales and foreclosures. Great, Carol. Yes. We do actually have, there are some Keller Williams realty related courses now that they've started on distressed property. And we are looking to continue to develop that division. So I think that's a good one. Taxes. Okay. Yeah, Crystal. So I did talk to a bookkeeper about coming in and doing a training. And then also we could have like a CPA if we wanted to come in and do that for sure. Ninja, Andy, I believe that is happening. I think Don said he was going to do something again with Ninja this year. So we will have that. Taxes, new upcoming projects. Okay, Keone. Yeah, that's a really good one. Great topic. Have been having some good side conversations about that. So just learning about what is coming up, and then also how do we work more with new home, which there is a new home division now in Keller Williams, tying that in, and what Legacy International offers, and then also how we create projects. So that's a good one. And GET class is started coming on the, oh, okay. There is a class, you're saying, Ray, on the 11th?
Yeah, Christina Wahoo's doing a quarterly class just for your GET taxes, because I think a lot of people get lost in that kind of.
Oh, Christy's doing the class?
Yeah, Christy's teaching it. It was in a week at a
Great.
glance, and it's also on the calendar for the 11th. So mark your calendars.
Okay, perfect, you guys. So these are good suggestions. Anything else that you want to see? Okay. All right. Well, you can keep putting stuff in the chat box, and then I would like for Teresa, I know Liza Rivera wanted to be on and she's still under the weather. So Teresa, do you want to talk a little bit about the social equity committee? Because again, as a reminder, you guys, we are doing a committee, what we're calling a committee fair for anybody that would like to participate in one of the committees that we have internally in the office, and also potentially wanting to be part of the Agent Leadership Council in the future. That's an opportunity to jump in. So I'm going to let Teresa talk a little bit about the social, what you guys are doing with social equity and DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Okay, well, first off, we need bodies. Second is that, you know, when people are looking at diversity, equity, and inclusion, they think of it as just one single thing, and it's not. You know, we're looking at, Keller Williams has made it a point that we're going to be welcoming and inclusive of all protected classes, including sex, race, color, creed, I am reading, age, national origin, ancestry, disability, veteran status, genetic information, and sexual orientation. Okay, so that's the big part of it. So for us at Keller Williams Realty Maui, we're looking at this focus as a year of education. And so we're going to be reaching out to the community, building relationships with affiliates, and we're going to be focusing on these community partnerships where we're coming together. So it's not just us, but it's us and title companies, and us and the lenders, and us and the education environment and government entities. And we're going to bring it together, and then we're going to educate on what's it like to be a realtor, what's it like to be with an individual who works with realtors, where can their careers go and how can they grow them? Because we all know real estate is one of the #1 equalizers for building wealth. And then we're going to take them into, so we're moving from community engagement into careers in real estate. And then we're going to do dream building, which is going to be goal setting and education, home buying, investing, that type of thing. And then we're going to move from that into seminars on how to. This is how you take your dreams and how you make them a reality. And you may not be able to do it today, but it doesn't mean you won't be able to do it tomorrow. But if you want to do it tomorrow, you got to have a plan. And so we're going to use the systems and the tools that Keller Williams already has and start applying them into this community. So what do we need? And how are we going to get started? Well, we need people to help. We've got a playbook. It was already presented to the ALC. When it's approved, then we're going to go ahead and move forward with starting the community outreach for the affiliates and like-minded. So this is a great opportunity if you like to talk to people and you want to support your community in a really meaningful way with a really great group of people. We're excited about it. And then the education, I know it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. And it folds really nicely into your business, and it will help you continue to grow and foster relationships. So if you're interested, I've got a slide deck I can send you. I'd be happy to talk to any of you. We've been working really hard. Liza's done a phenomenal job. Lots of support from Lisa and the team. And it's just going to be really exciting to see how we can integrate and get this out.
Awesome, Teresa. Thank you. Can you put your information in the chat box? And then Ray just put a reminder. So the actual committee fair, if you want to know more about what the Agent Leadership Council is doing, how you can get involved, if there's things that you want to do. I mean, a lot of these are opportunities, as kind of Teresa's getting at, to do something that you are excited and passionate about, and to build your business at the same time, and to build opportunities within the company if you're interested in terms of leadership, and just to learn how to lead your own business at a different level. So And then I have a couple of things in the chat box. Ray, can you also get with the ALC members and put on the website? So we do have a website, you guys, now that you can go to as a reminder, and Ray can put that in the chat box as well. It's our KW Hawaii 1 website. And that the idea is we want you to have a place you can go and look for resources where you're not like having to log into the back end of the internet, which you can still use, of course. So the training calendar is up there. And then one of the other things I'm going to ask Ray to do is put the committees. So put the Agent Leadership Council up there and then the committees that they're doing, and maybe they can give you a little blurb about it. And then if people want to get involved, there's a way that you can do that all the time. And if you forget who's doing what, that you can go to the website and look that up. And then it also on the website has your executive and leadership team on there, and part of it with their contact info. And part of the reason we did that was because a lot of times people, especially when you're newer to the company, I mean, once you've been here for a little while, you kind of know the lay of the land. It's like, who do I go to for what? Who can help me with this? Who handles this? That website is a good central source for you guys. I saw somebody asked about whether there is still, Crystal, you said, are we still getting free help with getting transactions into command? The answer is yes. We have a transaction assistant. Her name is Jen. She is actually my executive assistant's sister. Talent runs in their family. They're amazing. So yes, and if you want to have them work with you, I don't know if Ray, if you have handy that email address, you just have to send an email to, I think it's TC. Can you look that up? It's Jen Yaneza's email address. I think it's TC as in transaction coordinator, transaction TA. Oh, you put it in there. Okay, thank you. So yes is the answer, KWRMTA. And then I'm seeing if there's anybody else that has questions. Okay. I also wanted to let you guys know, in case you haven't had the pleasure and opportunity to meet Chris Weaver or Sasha Murphy yet. Some of you have, in fact, they've jumped in and they're already working to help us and support you guys. You will probably be hearing from them. They'll be reaching out to some of you guys to introduce themselves. They are helping to support you in this office. They're working alongside me in leadership, and Chris is flying over. He's going to be flying over from Oahu. He's a mega agent, has a team with his wife in Honolulu, and they closed. Where'd you guys end up the year? 40? Did you end up at, where'd you end up the year on volume?
We didn't quite hit 50, just
But
shy of
under 50, so over 40 million in production. So he's also a great person for you guys to pick his brain. I mean, this guy is like great in terms of following the models and building business. And I mean, so talk to Chris Weaver, take advantage of him, pick his brain. And then Sasha Murphy, who some of you met, is here too. And she's also been incredible. I mean, they both kind of came from other markets, and Sasha was in our market for, a year during the pandemic and went from 0 to, 9 million her first year on Maui. So she's great in terms of production. She has a huge extensive background, was a top agent in Washington. So we're really excited to have them as part of the team, and loving working with them already. So there's a lot of cool things we're figuring out that they're going to be able to do to help you guys and support us in the office. Okay. I'm looking to see what else I had on here. Oh, and if there is anybody, Chris and Sasha are also good to go to if there's anybody. So they're kind of functioning as, I mean, on the back end, we're saying assistant team leader. They're doing everything from sales management, helping you build profit share. So if you have people you want to invite to family reunion or to trainings or events, they'll reach out. And do you guys want to say anything else, Chris or Sasha?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Weaver, like she just introduced. Really excited to be working with everyone. And I just want to say that I can be here to support you in any part of your growth that you might have questions or just want to strategize about. I know that a big part of our success was the support of the rest of the office in Honolulu. And I know that that's a KW standard, right? So if I don't know the answer to the question that you're having. I know that someone probably on this call does, or someone in the company does, and we're going to get it for you as quickly as possible. So consider me a resource in that respect, and I look forward to working with you all.
Thanks, Chris. Sasha, anything? You want to say anything?
Aloha. Yes, sorry, I'm on another training. I'm super excited to be here and work with all of you, and just thrilled to be a part of the KW family, and excited to support all of your business, and just loving being here. Thank you, Lisa.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, guys. Okay. What else does anybody have any other questions? Anything that we didn't cover? Next week, I did ask Chris to share some more information with you guys about part of what has made his business successful. So we'll hear more about that next week. And then if
There
there's
will be
any
a homework
other,
assignment. So
yes,
everybody
that's your
be
homework.
ready.
Oh, there
Yeah.
will be, no, don't tell them that. They're not going to show up.
I'm just kidding.
We'll do it right in the training. Marion, do you guys, Keone, do you guys have anything, or Andy on the, and then is Michelle on? I don't know if she has an update today. I want to make sure we cover any logistical things. I know there's been some things that have come up that I'm probably going to have Michelle talk about next week that we've seen happen in transactions, and just there's a lot of heightened emotion out there right now with buyers and sellers. So just be aware that, you know, there's people that are, and there's weird things that are coming up. I mean, I was talking to somebody last week about, you know, that they put in a full price cash offer, and this was for a multi-million-dollar property. Some of you may have heard this story already. And they put in a full price cash offer. We didn't have the listing, we had the buyer, and they were the highest offer. Actually, it might have even been over full price. Andy, I don't know if you know, it was the highest offer, and it was cash. And it was like a $10 million property. I'll just say it was like a really huge deal. And then they ended up taking, and they had multiple offers, and the listing agent told the buyer's agent that it was the highest offer, the best offer. And yet the sellers decided to take the first offer, which was a lower, not as good offer, because it was the first offer. And they felt like they had an obligation to take the first offer. So what can we learn from that? What do we think? And we don't know the whole story, right? I mean, although, what does that tell you? So say you were working with a seller and that happened to you as a listing agent, what kind of a conversation are you having?
Well, two things. Number one, I
Yes.
had that happen to me. And, you know, it's a seller's home. They can do whatever they want with it. So we can't tell them what to do. We can advise them. We can do whatever we want on our part, but the ultimate decision is theirs. And no matter what we tell them, it's their property. So we got to stick with what they say, but it is our job to advise them, but not to make a decision for them.
That's right. Yeah. So it's a tricky situation because we don't know the whole reason for that other than, you know, and I think what we do is we say, hey, it's our job. We're here to help you get, right? This is what we do for you. It's to get the best price for your property. That is part of what we actually say when we're listing a property, right? Like that's typically what a seller would want. And maybe there was a conversation previously, maybe there wasn't. And you're right, it's ultimately their decision. So we have the conversation with them. They're going to ultimately make the decision. We have to make sure that they're most informed. We also, this is an example of when we talk about having people sign comparative market analyses, we usually talk about that on the buy side because we don't want a buyer to come back and say, hey, we overpaid for this property. Well, what if the seller comes back and says, you know, whatever, like, hey, I could have sold this for more. Well, okay, we had an offer. This is what we presented. And then Nancy says, prepare the buyer for surprises. And isn't that true in this case too? Like who would have thought, right? You don't necessarily think that's going to happen. And yet it's a good thing to maybe discuss just in case, because imagine how they felt. Yes, Chris.
Yeah, I just share a few things that I know that in situations like this are really important. And the first one is that old phrase, you know, time is of the essence. You have to treat every part of a real estate transaction like it matters now, because there's any reason could happen that it doesn't, it's not going to hurt it generally by going in first. In most situations, I know that there is some style points, but be deliberate about when you choose your timing. Don't let someone beat you just because you feel like you got time for it. The next part is that on either side of this, for the pricing that comes out, is that you want to protect your own interests as well. And that's done through documentation. So even though you had a conversation with if you're on the listing side with the seller about it, you advise them that, hey, this bigger offer is coming in. You're open to take any offer that's there. After you've had that conversation on the phone, you want to document it in an email to make sure that you have your own interest covered, that you did actually advise them and you can prove that you did it. But the last thing I'll share on it is, a similar situation happened to me where my buyer or my sellers took an offer and verbally, and then a much bigger offer came in after they took it verbally, and there was a lot of discussion with them about did they sign, do they have to take it. In the end, they chose to honor their verbal agreement, which you can get into a really sticky situation with verbal agreements. So I don't recommend putting across verbal agreements at all, even if your buyer to you or your seller to you has agreed verbally with you. I recommend highly waiting until that you send the contract across. We got pretty tight on that one.
Yes, thank you. Well, we could do a whole class on that.
If it's not in writing, it doesn't exist. That's the rule.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, Andy and then Jonathan. And then one other thing based on the comments. Yes.
I just wanted to say, and I totally agree with Chris, time is of the essence. This is a fast market and we've got to get in there and try and be the first slip underneath. But that's also when mistakes are made. And so I really want to make sure that if you're in a real hurry, stop and simmer, settle down a little bit and think about your contract and really go through it, because that is when I'm seeing mistakes made or things missed, because we're not thinking through it because we're in such a hurry to get it done. That's all.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Andy. Jonathan, you have something?
Yeah, let's see, from the listing side, I mean, again, I don't know the details, but I would say in this market in particular, I think it's important to let your sellers, give them a little time, not rush to accept the first thing. I'm always, and then from the buyer side, I'm always checking in, are there any offers? And if they say yes, when is the response? Like what is the timeline, so that how long you have to get your offer in. And I think a lot of the time we might assume, we have to do a guessing game when, you can tactically often get some key information from the listing agent as to, just how can I best serve my buyer? They really like this property. Is there anything I could put in my offer that would, be advantageous. And then the last thing, and this might not be as popular, but to be really honest, if I was the buyer's agent, I would wholeheartedly just express that, that property is not meant for you. If you put in a $10 million offer and it's all cash, and for whatever reason they are opting to go to a different thing, it's like the universe is saying there's a better property for that person. And with $10 million, I'm sure we could find it.
Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, I just want to add, and then I'll go to Marion and Keone, what Jonathan was saying. And this agent did actually everything right. As from the buyer side, we had a conversation about that they spoke to the listing agent in advance. They asked all the right questions. Is there anything that would be a deal breaker? What does the seller really want? I mean, they're a great agent and they really did everything, because that was part of the conversation, Jonathan, because sometimes that doesn't happen and then it costs you the deal as the buyer's agent. This buyer's agent did actually really have all of those conversations, and yet, that's what happened. And so I just wanted you guys to be aware of that. Marion and then Keone.
Great. Yeah, I was going to just add that training informing our sellers up front, having a conversation about how this works, what the process is, and that for fair housing laws also come into this. And you want to be sure that your seller understands what the procedure is from a legal standpoint. I just wanted to add that Ignite starts soon, and anyone here who's interested in a refresher class, we offer all the contracts, right? Purchase contract. We offer a Paragon class. We offer lots of good classes, how to run your escrow. So check out the Ignite calendar. You're welcome to come in and just take a couple of classes for refresher. You know me, if you haven't written a purchase contract in the last couple of months, you need to practice the purchase contract. So come to the purchase contract class or the listing contract class, please. You're totally welcome.
Great. Thank you for mentioning that, Marion. Okay, Keone.
Hey, everybody, just real quick. HER is aware of the issues with the purchase contract, how it's creating this weird addendum. And I'm hoping that they're going to do a release, not wait till May. But I haven't heard yet if they are aware of it though. So we are working to have that fixed.
Peony, and I talked to a member of the Forms Committee, and she said that they have already fixed it. They're just waiting for the board to approve it, and then they're going to release it, not send it out for agent approval.
Excellent.
Perfect. Thanks, guys. And yeah, thank you to Marion for helping to keep Kathy put the templates updated. And make sure you look at those because they're incredibly helpful. So for everybody. All right, great, you guys. Well, thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of the week. And if you've not registered for Family Reunion, do that. They will probably start releasing the breakout sessions and the content in the next week, or usually it's the next week or so to 10 days. Okay. Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of the day. Bye.